So at this point it's been about 1 month since the Throne of Liberty early access release, and so far I've sunk over 200 hours into the game. After my initial review I joined one of the top guilds on my server, shout out to Varangian Guard on Stormbringer JP. I've participated in multiple GVG Riftstone events, done a bunch of arena, been to every world boss, farmed every open world dungeon, did lots of dungeon PvP.
Just say you played the game.
And as of making this video I've got 2 max level characters, one sitting at 3, did lots of dungeon PvP.
Did he just kill Black Girl 69? I want to put that in a video.
And as of making this video I've got 2 max level characters, one sitting at 3.5k gear score and my ult which is around 2650 gear score.
Wait. I like how he's giving his credentials. 3,500, Jesus, dude. You got the helmet, what a bitch.
My ult, which is around 2650 gear score. So at this point I think it's fair to say that I have a full understanding of the game.
Yeah, that means he's actually played the game. It's funny though, because he knows he needs to show that because of how often he gives his opinion on a game without actually playing it. That's why he did that. He literally put that screenshot there because he knows that everyone's gonna be like, bro, you don't play games anymore. We know that.
Which is why this
he's a millionaire. Of course he swiped. What do you mean? His gear score isn't relevant to him playing the game, by the way.
Video will be a bit of an addendum to my previous review. Actually, looking back, that review was pretty spot on. The only mistakes I think I made was that 1, you can actually turn off the UI in photo mode, it's just a different keybind. 2, I completely oversold the character creator and said it has all the sliders, when in fact it's missing the most important one, the boob slider, which was removed to appease a global audience.
Yeah, who at AGS thinks that we around the globe don't like titties? I don't know who made that decision, but allow me to correct that for you. We love some mommy milkers, okay? We love mommy milkers. We love petite, tiny titties. We love all titties, okay? And the fact that you're not letting these titties be represented in your game, I find it offensive. I have bigger tits than the females do in this game, okay? That's a problem.
My bad
for my health and the game.
On that one. I played a male character so I didn't fuck with the sliders too much. I saw sliders were there so I just assumed it'd have a big titty slider, but apparently, after further inspection, the sliders are really limited. Sorry for that. And 3, my complaint about solo farming being annoying with all the circles going off became a non-issue with better gear and whilst group farming. Other than that, in hindsight, I think it was a good review, but there's a few things that I didn't mention that I want to discuss in this video, as well as a few more issues I found with the game's combat that I also want to highlight. But before we get into it, support the content by listening to today's issues, of which there are many. If the devs can fix all of the issues I'm going to mention in this video, then I think Throne would be a very good MMORPG.
It is a very good MMORPG. You just said you've been playing it for a month, dude. There's no way you would be playing a video game for a month if it wasn't a good MMO. We're going to have complaints about it because we played games too much, but you and I both know that it's a good game. Flat out, it is. It has really good stuff in it.
I guess part of the
Ark is a good game too, objectively.
The reason I'm continuing to play is in hopes that the game does improve. I'll provide my feedback, give the devs a chance to cook, and see what happens. Odds are this feedback will fall on deaf ears though, so I do encourage other content creators to make their own version.
Why does he think it's going to fall on deaf ears? He gets the most views. Except for maybe Forced. But I feel, can I be honest, man? Content creators need to shut the fuck up. Okay? You literally have almost 1 million subscribers on YouTube. You could just post a review of a shit game that no one's heard and it gets hundreds of thousands of views. Like, give yourself a little bit of fucking credit here, dude. I'm sure Amazon and NCSoft will see your video. I'm positive it'll be brought up in a meeting. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, dude.
Of this vid, title it something like 10 things Throne of Liberty needs to improve or something, I don't know. But before we get into the negatives, let's start by discussing the positive experiences I've had with Throne since my initial review. First of all, I got to experience riding the giant sky whale with hundreds of other players. I had to do this a few times as taking it was the only way to unlock the Saradoma Island waypoint. I made a Twitter post about it at the time, but it was so epic seeing hundreds of players come together and hang out.
I think we all had that moment. That was pretty cool on every server, just hundreds of people. No, you can't swim to get the waypoint. There's hundreds of people just like clipping through it. Now, technically you can swim to get the waypoint, but that's only because you can like hop up to the top of the volcano and then fly from the top of the volcano to the golf tee waypoint. Right? She just can't let us be happy.
I was chatting for the 20 or so minute journey. Unfortunately, as Saradoma Island had only just unlocked, about 70% of us mistimed the jump and we fell to our death without getting the waypoint. This whale only comes once every 3 hours, so I had to come back the next day and try again. I love it when MMOs create spectacle content that brings hundreds of players together. This is something that Throne does.
Just people falling and dying.
Does very well in multiple forms of content, from the whale to rift stones and conflict world bosses. Speaking of conflict world bosses, these can sometimes get absolutely crazy, with multiple guild alliances all—
Did my buddy get— Dude, I feel like homie got veneers.
Conflict world bosses. Speaking—
I think homie got veneers, bro. I think he went to Thailand and homie got a new set. That's what I think, bro. Those feet, those are way too white. Oh, has he had veneers? I didn't notice. I just noticed now.
Speaking of conflict world bosses, these can sometimes get absolutely crazy, with multiple guild alliances all fighting each other, literally hundreds of players fighting over a boss. The spectacle of it is incredibly cool.
Oh my god, I hate his fucking bar settings, dude. Can't trust someone with fake teeth? Sure you can, bro. Who cares? Dude, my teeth are going to rot out of my mouth in like 10 years, bro. I'm going to have to get a set. You're not going to like me then, dude? I'll have a fucking set of chiclets. What are you going to do about it?
But it definitely has a lot—
Dentures? Those are fake teeth too, bro.
—of issues, which I'll discuss later.
What do you think dentures are? Dentures and veneers are essentially the same thing, just done differently. It's fake teeth.
So far though, my favourite content of all has been the guild vs guild riftstone fights. The maximum size of these are 70 vs.
My favorite content has been the riftstones and the guildstone fights. Another one. Yeah, just do more of that. Even-ish fights.
70, assuming that everyone from both guilds is online, so you don't suffer from the issue of zergs like you do with the open world conflict.
But you do suffer from the issue of cutting people for having a regular life, which is unfortunate.
Content. It was actually experiencing this with my guild for the first time that fully hooked me into Throne. I've always been a large-scale PvP enjoyer for the spectacle, and there's something epic about listening to your shot caller shout commands as two armies clash. The fantasy of being a soldier in an—
Oh man, those teeth look so fake right now.
Army and going to battle.
I can't stop looking at anything but his teeth. It's normal. Maybe it's because he's got the full screen up, so I'm really just dialed in on his teeth right now.
Is one of the biggest reasons.
Dude, I'm jealous of my boy over here. He fucking did Muay Thai for 2 years, fucking living in Thailand. You know, he's doing great. Okay.
Why I play MMORPGs. On the smaller scale side of things, I've also had a lot of fun going into open world dungeons alone at night time and just fighting with
around already. I would, dude. I think Lazy's a good dude. I don't like his content that much. I'll be real. I think his content's bored. Like, I can just tell he's bored of making content. Do you know what I mean? I get it. We all go through phases. But I think, like, as a homie, I'd hang out with him. I'd get a beer with him.
When I see. Sometimes I get absolutely wrecked, and
yeah, no, he mentions he's bored.
Other times I get some pretty cool 1vx fights. This is another feature of Throne that Ashes of Creation is supposed—
You're getting 1vx fights because you're 3,500 fucking gear score, bud, and you swiped your little fucking nuts off. You swiped your little fucking sack off, dude. You've got— I think you have fucking like 19k base HP right now or something.
to have. I think Throne takes a nice balanced approach to it though, with PvP only being enabled 20% of the time, only when it's nighttime. So with the positives out of the
Well, you can tell he's actually enjoying the game.
way,
He wouldn't be doing these videos if he didn't.
About the additional negatives and potential issues I see for the game going forward now that the honeymoon phase is over. Let's talk endgame. There's really not a whole lot of content for small guilds of say 20 to 40 players. You've got your daily guild bosses, but that's about it.
Daily?
Perhaps some riftstones and boonstones should have a hard cap of say 20 to 30 players to allow smaller guilds to stand a chance, or just design some new content catering to this smaller group size, because at the moment you've got super small scale arena or full on large scale with nothing in between. Another issue I can foresee, which is already starting to be a problem, is guild mega alliances killing servers. Even though the official guild alliance limit is set to 4 guild alliances,
and it should be half that,
many guilds are getting around this limit by marking additional allies as hostile. The instruction
that's the exact same thing they did on Korea.
Is then given to only attack white and pink nameplates. You're not supposed to attack the orange hostile marked players. This is obviously the game being played by the community in an unintentional way, but on my server it's resulted in 2 mega alliances forming of over 1,000 players on each side. Conflict world bosses are a mess because you end up attacking allies, you don't know who's who, it's just a dog shit experience. A problem that's been created by the community by deciding to create large zergs, or feeling like they have no choice but to join a zerg alliance to get loot. I'm not sure how the devs could fix this one. Perhaps the only way would be to remove the hostile guild feature, as this is what guilds are abusing to identify additional allies.
Remove the feuding system, remove the hostile and friendly guild thing, only have alliances, limit the number of people, blah blah blah.
Allies, when the intention of the hostile guild system is that it's used to fight enemy guilds in the open world. Me and Cannon discussed this issue on his recent podcast, and we couldn't really think of any good suggestions. Either way,
You couldn't think of a single good suggestion to fix the ally system? What? You guys both have hundreds and thousands of hours in this, and you couldn't come up with a single fucking idea, bro. They are alliance players, so removing alliances isn't a solution to them. Just remove the hostile flagging thing, and then when people go into a PvP zone, they're just hostile flagged to you. That seems easy, bro. Remove the mega alliances, make it so they're friendly firing in these circles, and then go from there.
I think the devs need to do something to ensure that players can't find any sneaky ways to go beyond the 4 guild alliance cap. The game just...
Yeah, but like them saying they don't, that is the idea. Like you start like, okay, so you don't just completely remove something. You do one cut and then you reevaluate, right?
Stops working, and fights aren't even fun when it's devolved into who has the biggest zerg. And finally, botting. Lots of bots have started to pop up. Some of them are in top guilds, botting for guild rank. The Chinese guilds on my server, called What and WD, are notorious for this. They need to be permabanned ASAP. Next, I'm just going to list everything wrong with the combat in Throne, because there's even more stupid design that I've discovered since my previous review.
Sure.
Number 1, you cannot make raid groups in Throne, despite being a large scale...
See, okay, I don't think that not making raid groups is necessarily a bad thing. Because to me, it's a balancing tactic for heals. Because if your heals just AoE'd onto everyone outside of your party who is friendly, like that's a much different game. Why do you want raid frames? You're just used to them. That doesn't make any sense. It would counter flash wave, but what it would devolve into is putting more people on top of each other that are friendly with each other, and you would just ball up and heal everything. I don't think you guys know what you're talking about. Can I be honest? You guys have no idea what you're talking about. if your heals could AoE onto everyone around you, this game would just become a murder ball. And heals are super strong in this game to the point that they need to be limited to your party. It wouldn't be ESO, because in ESO you can blow up a group. You can't blow up a group in this game without 40 people casting Flash Wave. Right? I'm not saying that the Flash Wave meta is good. I'm just saying that raid frames is not the fix to it that everyone thinks it is.
PvP game, you're limited to 6 player groups without the option to combine those groups into a raid. This makes it very difficult.
But here's the thing, Adam. I don't like to use games that no one's playing anymore as an example. Okay? So while you're talking about ESO doing PvP balance, to me in my head for the past 6 years, ESO has had a dude named Milton who works in a basement working on PvP. Okay? So changes they made to their PvP scene, which was 1/1000th of their population, right? Like, come on. This is actually a PvP game. ESO is not a PvP game. It hasn't been for a while, bro. Anyone who's a real PvPer has not been playing. No, dude, no one is still playing ESO for PvP except like 200 people. Honestly. It's got a very small portion of the player base that's interested in PvP, and their development cycle shows that. When they add new content, it's new classes, it's new fucking mounts, it's new fucking decorations and shit. That's where their money is. They've put their development where they make money. They've made that very obvious. They did a PvP update like once a year if you're lucky, and even then it's like, oh, we added. You can now queue with your friends in a BG. That was like a PvP update.
For healers to target heal players out of their party, as they need to manually click people or use astral vision, and shot callers also can't get a good overview of the health of their guild during battle.
What do you mean? I can see all of my guys' HP bars. I don't agree with that.
2. The range at which you're tab targeting targets is way too short. When you enter the PvP arena, for example, you need to click target your enemies out of the gate because they're too far away for you to tab target. 3. If you enter the PvP arena with 20% health, you're not automatically healed to full. You'll start the arena match with that level of health. What the fuck? 4. Interacting with the mage after dying to remove your after death effect also doesn't heal you to full health, when it really feels like it should. 5. Your character cannot move mid-air whilst jumping like WoW, Guild Wars 2, and a number of other MMOs that have more fluid.
Oh, they should definitely add that. That's probably why the terraining feels so bad. That's probably why the terraining feels so shitty. Now that I think about it. This is why it's impossible to terrain, because you can't change your direction mid-jump. So you need to jump in a direction, and sometimes when you're jumping, there's not enough room to jump in a direction, right?
Fluid feeling movement. Sure, this is realistic, but it's not fun, and it contributes to general movement feeling clunky. 6. Your character movement speed slows down when auto-attacking. So if it's melee fighting
I think that's fine. I think if people auto-attack and it slows their movement, it gives people who are trying to get out of their DPS a stamina advantage or a movement distance advantage. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
melee and one character just runs away without auto-attacking, they'll run out of range of your attacks, causing you to auto-run towards them. As melee, this makes it very hard to stay on top of your target.
Yeah, but you're not really chasing attacks auto-attack. You're like, no one is a melee sticky backing their opponent auto-attacking in this game. That's not a thing you're doing. You're waiting for cooldowns that are either engaging on them, pulling them to you, or dashing in on them. No one's running around following someone like, why won't he just let me beat on him with my sword and board for 100 damage a hit? Like, no one's doing that. So while I understand what he's trying to say, it's completely irrelevant to anyone who's actually PvPing.
Other MMOs don't have this. 7, what makes my previous point feel even worse is that melee attack range in Throne is half that of something like World of Warcraft.
But okay, so we have to wonder, why does Throne perform so well? It might be because things aren't happening as much as other games, right? Either the tick rate, the range on attacks. I feel like the only ability that is rough on servers for calculating is Flash Wave, right? Everything else is very small and controlled. Maybe sleeps aren't, but right? Like we just don't like, so if melee had double the range, there'd be a lot more information going through the server. Yeah, I don't really feel like I need my melee range to be triple my character length. I'm just because it's in WoW doesn't mean you need it in this game. Again, we're not chasing people with our auto attacks. No one's doing that.
Which is a lot more lenient. You really
it's lenient because it's made for fucking geriatrics, dude.
Need to be on top of your target to hit them. Throw in a bit.
But why do we need to be on top of our target, bro? We're jumping on our targets. We're dashing on our targets. We're slamming our targets into walls. What I can say is that Devastating Smash is buggy. It needs to be fixed. But we're not running around auto-attacking people to death, bro. Like, if you're doing this in a group fight, you're trolling.
Bit of movement and a bit of ping, and attacking a moving target as melee just feels atrocious compared to other MMOs. Number 8, to attack other players in PvP, you first need to tag them.
They're fixing this in the Korean version where you auto tag, but this is, again, I think we can all agree, this is horrible.
With an auto attack. This feels especially bad in GVG content such as Rift Stones, and feels even worse for melee. Number 9, crowd control in Throne has a lot of RNG to its design.
Yes.
Sometimes you can just lose 1v1s due to your stuns not landing. Definitely not fun for the people who enjoy small scale.
Yeah, but like there's no way to fix that with the current game. Right? Like what? Like this is the game is designed around evasion as a stat. Right? So the way we're avoiding these CCs that just have a chance to not hit is by stacking a defensive against these things. What I feel like we need is diminishing returns on CC. And the trinket should take you out of all CC. The trinket should not work when you're prone. Just have the trinket take you out of every CC and give you, if it takes you out of a CC, you get a 2-second CC immunity. Boom. That's it, bro. Once every 2 minutes, you get to be taken out of a CC. If you press it ahead of time before you're CC'd, it doesn't give you a CC immunity. Right? You have to remove a CC to get the CC immunity. So people could like try to get rooted, use it, and then push in with some immunity. That'd be fine. At least they're like pressing it properly.
PvP. Number 10, for one of the PvP arenas, you need to enter via a grapple hook. Sometimes your flight form bugs out and you'll lose 20%.
I mean, that's more about flight form being buggy and less about the arena though, right? So I get what he's saying. He didn't word it correctly.
Of your health as full damage right at the start of an arena. Absolutely lovely. Number 11, there's a common bug with charged and casted abilities where if you reach max cast and your target goes out
I've had that happen before.
Of range, you'll sometimes have the cast stuck at max and prevent you from using other abilities. To fix this bug, you'll need to dodge roll out of it, but it'll often get you killed in the middle of a PvP fight. Number 12, if you guild summon under bridges or tight areas, players will spawn inside of the terrain and get stuck. 13, I think the dodge roll and block being on the same button not only feels clunky, but it also feels awful in certain encounters where you need to quickly move to a location, then block.
Well, luckily, you have movement abilities. So what you can do is you can dash in front or behind and then block because you're using a great sword and board, which is one of the most mobile weapon kits in the game.
One of the tower bosses is a good example of this. 14. There's no buffer range for casted abilities if your opponent moves slightly out of range like WoW and most other MMOs.
Yeah, but the buffer range is so people can like feel like their abilities are going off. The buffer range also in PvP in this game means that people can't just lock on abilities onto you and take damage. I think this is more of like a preference than a problem. And I'm not saying it's better one way or the other. I'm just saying it was a choice they made for it to not buffer.
I mentioned this in my previous video. 15, there's too many unnecessary...
You can change that? How do you change that?
Animation locked abilities.
Greatsword animation locked abilities? Yeah, but these all one-shot people. How would you want Guillotine Blade to not animation lock you, dude? I'm not understanding. Like these need to be animation locked because they're like you're fully one-shotting someone, right? Like that's the price you're paying to do that much damage is you're standing still. Yeah, I don't feel like it. I can agree that it feels a little clunky playing a greatsword, but like the clunk is the cost of the damage.
16, there's a lot of AoE abilities that feel like they should be castable without a target.
Sure. I think Devastating Smash should be a ground AoE.
That aren't. 17, almost every mobility ability will have the player get stuck on the smallest rock or...
Terraining sucks. We can all agree with that. Also, the mobility things hit your camera and go the wrong direction all the time. We can all agree on that.
Light terrain elevation. Abilities such as Precision Dash, the Mage Blink, and Shield Rush especially suffer from this. 18, forward movement abilities will sometimes dash you backwards, even if you've got the mouse pointing forward.
Wow, look at you can just watch the transgraph. That looks so bad.
Forwards. This is because trees and leaves are considered collidable objects. So if you run underneath a tree, a bridge, or there's something above you and you try and dash, odds are you're dashing backwards. Your dash direction should really be dictated by the position of your mouse on the screen relative to your character.
Yeah, but it's that these items are being picked up by the game logic, right? So there's definitely a way to do it.
But
it almost feels like though, because like when you're doing these dashes, you don't see the objects you're clipping on. I think that's what it is. Like if I could see the trees and the walls and know that I was zoomed out too much, it would be fine. But because I can't see the object that it's clipping onto, I don't even know it's fucked up until I press it and it's fucked up.
19.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's I don't think it's like a simple thing to make it cursor based, right? I've played WoW. No, I've played WoW. But WoW is a different game and they're coded differently. Like is WoW running on Unreal? I don't feel like changing how abilities work with all of the collision and mesh in the game is a super easy thing.
MMOs allow you to use...
I'm just saying that what one game does doesn't mean it's easy for another game to do in a different engine.
Use your mobility abilities to...
Moz is literally a dev, so I would trust his game dev opinion. It's easy in Unreal. I don't know.
Dash over gaps, but in Throne you cannot do this. Your character just stops at the edge. 20. Targeting in this game is visually awful. The target indicator just blends in with the nameplates.
Yeah, targeting sucks in this game, but I think once you change your settings, it gets a lot better.
Especially in large-scale PvP. 21. In some PvE encounters, the Q block timing is actually different to the reality of when you need to block. There's two bosses in the tower, for example, that if you block when the game tells you to block, you'll get stunned. You actually need to delay the block until after the circle, which feels incredibly inconsistent.
I mean, it's just a different delayed ability. Like, I don't know. I think they're kind of fucking with you on this one.
Consistent from what the game teaches you from the start. 22. The camera zoom in effect upon exiting Flight Morph is horrible. 23. Devastating Smash is a bugged ability, as it can be cancelled with the Q block to be an instant ranged AoE stun.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. Like, bro, Devastating Smash. Do you want me to tell you how it is using Devastating Smash? Let me explain it to you. So I'm running around with my sword and board, and I'm just trying to find the biggest clump, and I click on a name in that clump, and then I'm spamming my Devastating Smash button, and it just goes it just won't go off, and I'm definitely in range, and I'm just pressing it, and then it finally goes off, and I Devastating Smash backwards, and I hit some random dude behind me. That is 75% of my Devastating Smashes, bro. Is me clicking on a clump, trying to smash into them, and then it goes to some random dude around me. Every time, bro. I'm just like, this thing is ass. Like, I'm clicked on someone and it goes to someone else. No, I got rid of the mouse over targeting.
Done with no counter.
It's only Devastating Smash that does this. No other ability does this, bro.
Play. Additionally, Devastating Smash doesn't allow you to jump from.
See? So this is what happens, I think. Like, you get on some weird terrain and the smash doesn't happen, and you just like do
high
it
ground
into
to
nothing.
low ground when really it feels like it should. 24, Flash Wave and Tornado sometimes don't follow the contour of
Thank God they don't sometimes.
the terrain, causing it to miss targets above and below. 25, the grapple hook feels inconsistent, clunky, and locks you in animation, yet it's implemented in so many encounters. 26, general movement throughout the world in Travel Morph is buggy at times, especially in bumpy terrain.
Sure.
You'll get stuck on pixels, get desynced back and forth, and it's hard to tell what rocks you can and cannot jump on. Siluce's Abyss, 6th floor, is a good example of a place with shit terrain that you'll always desync on. And 27, there's no option to RP walk in Throne.
Yeah, that's what we care about.
Why? Every MMO allows you to RP walk except this game. Let me walk, damn it. Overall, Throne of Liberty is a
He's such a troll, bro.
game that I really want to see improve. There's things this game does that I absolutely love,
RP walking is important. Yeah, so you can take a screenshot, you dildo.
such as the open world, the massively multiplayer spectacle moments, and the giant open world dungeons, but there's also some things that I absolutely hate, such as the long list of things I mentioned earlier. Like I said, it'd be cool to see other content creators make feedback videos like this to hopefully get through to the devs and improve the game. Also, leave your comments below this video on things that you would like to see.
This is a good video. No, this is a good video. He did good on this one. I don't agree with everything, but you're never supposed to. It's terrible design that grapple needs stamina. Disagree. Yeah, literally the reason grapple takes stamina is so that these positions that have grapple hooks have a cost to travel to them quickly. The stamina cost is directly in relation to PvP, because there's multiple spots. There's multiple spots where people grapple into you and can flank up behind you from a vantage point, and that stamina cost gives your group an opportunity to punish them because they don't have as many blocks in the tank as they would have if they just ran at you, right? So that's the grapple using stamina is literally by design. It's intentional. You don't have to agree with that design choice, but it's definitely there for PvP. Especially the morphing and grappling in this game feels like I'm an obese walrus dragging myself through shards of broken glass and rusty nails. Yeah, that's a little over the top. Yeah, I think grappling does suck. Yes. Yeah, no, this is a good video. I think he did well on this. I liked it. It was good. Good stuff.